Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's now a couple of minutes past the hour of 10 here. This is a late night broadcast. My name is Mazi Ezoke. How are we doing today? Thank you very much for all of you who have joined me, and thank you for joining me from across the globe. As my topic of broadcast this evening states, we once more have lost another legend within the movie industry. One of the things I would want us to do this evening is, as a people, to see if there is anything, if there is a way we can help the Nollywood to put, structure around the Nollywood industry. Because what is happening is heartbreaking, it is not sustainable. Our good brother who died, Amechi Monago, who is from Obosi, and I believe somewhat related to Tony Monago, whom many of you will know, Tony One Week. He was down with a kidney problem for a very long time, and hence many of us never saw him until this video surfaced online. And when I looked at that video, when I first saw that video, the video really touched me, and the video itself broke me. Thank you very much, those of you who have joined. I can see you in the back room. I will be bringing you in shortly. Thank you for joining me. And for many of you who also want to join, who want to join the conversation, if you check within the comment section, you will see the link there to click on. Click on it, and it will bring you directly to the studio. Just make sure that you're in a place that is well lit and that we can hear you loud and clear. We can have up to 12 people join this stream and we'll have this conversation. Again, like I said, it's something that is heartbreaking to know that a man who really worked so hard and made so many Nigerians happy, also mentored so many young upcoming artists. Sadly, the way they all die and before their death, it appears that they lose everything. If you take, for instance, we had Mr. Ibu when he had his leg amputated. Mr. Ibu, was more or less begging for, or rather, to be rescued. And thanks to my good brother and friend P Square, who came to his rescue. P Square, did amazing work that he never publicized the things he did. Here we are again. In a short period of time, we have Monago, Amechi Monago, also in the same way and in the same manner. But now, in this case, a different type of disease, kidney. And let me just again, I say, to his family and to everyone who loved him, to everyone who cherished his work, I say, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Let me play this video that was as a tribute to him. That was when he was lying in his sick bed. And another Nollywood member was the one who actually shared this video. Credit to him. And let's see. So if we look here, we can see him lying in bed here, and this young man went there to see him and reported this.
Thank you so much.
Now, for those who do not understand Igbo, for my non-Igbo audience here, he says, "Ihe ọbụla ị chọrọ ịgwa ndị mmadụ, gwazie ha ka ha nyelụ gị aka." Whatever you want to tell the public, tell them so that they can help you. And at this point, you can see how he lies down there. I mean, this video is about, oh shit. Sorry, this video is about 2 weeks old. And, I think that was almost like the peak when this video eventually came out. You can see that he has a tube insertion on his chest. And anyway, let me just see this. Can you imagine a man that roars like a lion? All he was trying to say, all my Igbo brothers and sisters, I greet you. That is the greeting in in Igbo land. He says, Igbo bi Igbo, mamano. To even say Igbo bi Igbo, mamano was so hard, and you can see that the voice is almost gone, and that broke my heart. Anyway, any one of us can be sick, and this was really, for me personally, it was. I mean, it's about 5 minutes video, but I can't play more than this because it was indeed a tragedy to watch. That video was a tragedy to watch, and eventually we lost him. Once more, I say, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Having said this, where I would need us all collectively to help me here is there any way the holy Nollywood could be helped? Why is it that those who we see on the screen, those that make Nigerians happy? I read something today. I can't remember his name. There is one that plays Igwe in all the Igbo movie. He has a very heavy, my beard is a baby beard to his. He has a very thick beard. I read something posted on Facebook this morning when I woke up, and that kind of touched me and aligned with this. He said that the Sabinus, the Mumu skit maker that acts Mumu, he said that Sabinus invited him to Port Harcourt and treated him like a king. Sent Prado to pick him. And when he paid him, when he wired the money to his account, his telephone froze. Yet, this is a man so many people knew the exploit he has made in the movie industry. When you read something like this coming from them, you begin to question yourself. Does it mean that they do not make enough? Does it mean that they do not know how to save? I don't know where the problem is. But one thing I know is that there is a problem here. This is indeed a problem. Is it that they don't know how to save? Is it that, in Igbo we say, what is the problem? Is it that the scissors is not sharp, or is it that the barber doesn't know how to cut hair? Do they not earn enough, or they don't know how to save, or is it that the whole Nollywood couldn't get an industrial health, insurance that they can pay into? I understand many people, have one form of insurance or the other, where when strength fails you and when you're no longer able to, work, then this insurance can kick in. Or is it that there is something that the industry consumes that brings this so much I don't know, I wouldn't say unhealthy lifestyle, but is it that there is something the industry consumes that makes them fall sick? I don't know. That question, that answer is what we are seeking tonight, to see how can this happen. How can we help this industry? This industry, the level of, the level and the manner people drop every time is really appalling. It's really getting out of hand. And for those of you who have joined me from there, I have Jen and I have Uloneme Levinus. For all of you who want to join me, please, if you want to join me and you're ready to have it, uh, have something say on this, because we have three topics today. One of the topic is the Nollywood death, and Mona go here. Second, the second topic is the kidnapped children in Kaduna that the federal government told Nigerians this morning that they were released, and actually, you know, I thought that something is not right. I would also show us the exchanges I've had with some people on the Twitter space, on the X space. That is the second part. Then we would probably go, the last part will be to go into northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria, we have some things that have come out of that region. Their leaders are beginning to speak up, blaming the northern Nigeria. You will see some of the waters that those people in those areas drink. Hence, when Peter Obi in the last couple of days now have been running helter skelter, going from one state in northern Nigeria to the other. It was in Nasarawa, it was in Kebbi, and today it was in Sokoto. It was in Lagos yesterday, meeting the Muslim family to break fast with them. People, it's a loaded evening. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, click the like button, share this stream, and let others join us. So let's go to my guest here. Please, Francis, Uloneme, Livinus, and Jen, please can you turn on your cameras if you want to come on stream? Then we can bring you on. We need you to have your cameras on, and then we can bring you on. Okay. So having said that, once more, before we wrap up this segment, we say once more, may the souls of those who have died in the last couple of days rest in peace. Now we have Jen here. Jen, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV. Yeah, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
You're looking well this evening.
Thank you.
So what's your take on the Nollywood and the deaths that that has become a reoccurring decimal?
Oh, it's so sad to have another one of our another character
He's a
of
legend. He was a legend.
yes, leave us, and it's so sad also the circumstance, you know, through which they all died.
Hmm. Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead. Are you still there? Oh, there. Network, I guess. So, Francis, are you still? Fran six, are you there? Well, again, some of you are saying, like Waski Henry is saying that maybe they do not have good insurance scheme. I mean, fair point. But could it also be that they have not exploited that, right? Could it also be that they have not exploited that to have the insurance scheme, to help them whenever they are sick? I don't know. And Kesti says, Monago, I'm not mistaken, a seasoned Nollywood actor. Rest on. Obviously, he is now resting in peace. So, having said that, in in Nigeria as we know it, people may say that insurance is not, easy to come by, but I don't necessarily think that is correct. I don't think that is right. I don't think people, um, as people always say, oh, we cannot insure our cars. No, you can actually insure cars. You can't insure life in Nigeria, but there is a premium because I know some premiums on a car, not this third party. And the moment his car was taken at Gompambra State, and within a couple of days, the insurance company brought another brand new car because that car was a brand new car. Brought another brand new car to him in his village in order to replace that car. I am also aware that there are insurances, health insurance that people can utilize in Nigeria. But I think the point here is that maybe sometimes either people are not aware or that people hasn't really exploited the thing in, the insurance in question. Now let's now come back to the children that were taken from Kaduna. Sometimes there are things that happen in Nigeria that will make your head, just want to go gaga, right? Let's take this for instance. I woke up earlier today. I read this from Twitter. Mr. Boala, whom many of you know very well, said, good news that the kidnapped school children are released. Security chiefs are working hard to keep their job. Way to go. Kudos to everyone involved. If you go to Bayo Onanuga's page, the even the other guy, the SS there is the spokesperson of the federation, Ajure. Every single one of them talks about how these girls were released, or no one of them actually told us how many were released. Eventually, we are finding out now that not all the girls were released. Now, the question, and which necessitated my own response. If you're not following me more active on Twitter or X, if you're not following me on Twitter, please by all means go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Mazezoke. That is Maaziezoke. So follow me on Twitter for my tweets. Now I responded to Daniel Boala. I said, while we rejoice with the families for the safe return of the kidnapped children, one will not fail to ask these questions. Of course, these questions are pertinent. These questions are what every Nigerian should be asking by now. Were all the children released or rescued? The government hasn't told us if all the children were released and rescued. We are now getting from another angle that yes, not all of them were released. How much ransom was paid for the release of these children? The government hasn't told us if they paid any ransom on this. If no ransom was paid, how much or how many of the bandits were killed? Obviously, if you have gone in to rescue, we are looking at, if you're watching TV today, you would have seen the trending news coming out of Moscow. When terrorists attacked Moscow, and you see how Moscow have repelled, and some of them are paying the price. You can see one of them, if you go to X, you see one of them saying that they came from Turkey and they were promised, I think, 5,000 rupees, and eventually, which is about, I don't know, I think 5,000 euros or thereabout. And you can see what the Russian government is dealing with them decisively now and there. So the question is, if no ransom was paid, automatically, it would then mean that we rescued them. If we rescued them, how many of these bastards did we send to their makers? How many of these idiots did we send to their creators? How many of them were arrested? There's no such news coming from the government. And finally, I asked, if we have arrested or done justice to them, when are we going to have them tried? If none of these, point 1 to 4, if none of these happens, sorry, if we don't get answers to these questions, people, the vicious cycle will continue. It will only be a matter of time before the next set of children is kidnapped again. It started with Chibok, moved into Dapchi, moved into Kano, moved into Yobe. That is what we have unending. However, now if we understand this to be what is happening within the northern Nigeria as we speak, not that there is no insecurity every other place, but there are people within those regions are speaking up and asking themselves questions. Like people like me have actually questioned so many times when some of our brothers and sisters will say, oh, those who kidnap in the southeast are not southeasterners. I say, my friend, go and sit down. Because when you unveil the masquerade, you find out that it is your neighbor that is actually behind the mask. those that we have caught, those that are confessing, those that kidnap people in Anambra State, take them inside the bush, butcher their cars, and begin to take back their cars to Lagos. They are not from other places. They speak our language, they speak our tongue, they wear the same hair ties like us. Therefore, we must all lend our voice southeast, northwest to condemn evil wherever and whenever it occurred. Now, let's look at this from this angle and why we play this.
We have had a northern president from Kaduna.
What this man here is actually saying, which makes a lot of sense, is, as I'll allow him say these things. I mean, that was a credit to Arise TV. One of the interview that he had with Arise TV here is, if you listen to him, he's now questioning, does it add any value that, let's take for instance, under Buhari, even mostly now, even under Tinubu, that some of the security agencies are controlled by northern Nigerians, yet poverty will go to north, so agbada, so trouser, so shokoto, and be walking on the street. Politicians cannot even steal money to say they will go and help the people. Rather, they will steal money to go and see how they can impoverish the people the more. It's something wrong with the brain of African politicians or Nigerian politicians. Like this man here questioned, what is wrong? Northern leaders, we say it's not only time to speak up, it is also time to act. What's happening?
President from Kaduna for 8 years. Before he came, we did not have a single IDP. All our local governments were safe. Now Kaduna State, 22 out of 34 local governments. That is 65% of Kaduna. It's under siege.
Do you know what it means, people? That you had a president who came from Kastina. You had a president whose second name, whose middle name, and whose last name was nepotism, nepotism, nepotism. Who saw nothing wrong by being nepotistic. Yet he could not, his incompetence can be, you can smell it from kilometers and miles away. His own state of Kastina. Do you know what it means? When we talk of IDP, maybe it sounds like a buzzword. You know what it means, people? That for about 8 years, the place you know as your home, the place you know like as your ancestral home, you can no longer walk in there. Your papa, your mother, your mama, your siblings, your brothers and sisters, your relations are staying in makeshift houses. The things you see in Congo or thereabout when when you have proper crisis, it's now happening in your own place. And you had someone who governed Nigeria, who was this commander-in-chief, who was a retired military general, yet could not protect his own people. In Kastina, we're not talking about Sokoto, we're not talking about Ebonyi, neither are we talking about Ogun State. No, his own damn state. He could not protect his own damn state. How else can incompetence get to that you can begin to feel and smell such level of failure? How?
Borno State is more secure and safer than Kaduna. That we had a president who is from there. That is a failing of us northerners. We need to look at ourselves. And now here we are. We have a leadership, we have a vice president number 2 who is from the north. We have a speaker of the house who is number 4 who is from the north. We have an SGF who is from the north. We have the senior most military officer who is from the north. We have all the ministers of defense from the north. We have the minister of police from the north. We have the national security advisor from the north. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will look at us and say, you guys have no excuse not to bring peace to your land. So it is up to us to look at ourselves in the mirror, we northerners, especially those in government, and lock the door and say, people, how do we take care of these problems? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the southwest cannot come and bring peace to us. It is us that must bring peace to ourselves. And it is not the military that will bring peace. I've said it again and again. Banditry can never be won on the battlefield. We are just putting the military to clean up after this mess. They're everywhere. So northern leadership, all of us, must come in, lock the door, and sit down and see how we can bring peace to our land. 15 years of Boko Haram, 9 years of banditry. Are we going to continue this forever? I have friends in the United States calling me and say, did you see the primary school where these kids were taken? Blown roof, nothing there. Well, this is the leadership of the North that fuels all of this. And we're looking elsewhere, we're blaming somebody else. No. Leaders of the North, those in government and out of government, it's time for us to look ourselves in the face and say, we have failed our people, we need to do better. The military cannot bring peace to ourselves. None. We must all get involved and stop this nonsense, this Boko Haram, this banditry.
The North, one of your leaders have spoken. Nigerians, we must hope one another to get this mess sorted out. If you then look again, please, people, that's the conversation with the North will lead me to my last point in this evening, which will now be Peter Obi visiting the North. Take, for instance, today in the year 2024, not 1970, not 1960. Today in the year 2024, look at the type of water. What you're looking at in the screen now, people are still scooping. Look at cow. When they have their poo in that water, the mothers, the father, the children are going to. That's an eyesore. The children will apparently drink this water. See? People are scooping this water. People, in the year 2024, in the year 2024, a community, it's still like this. A region that has had the last 80 years, a region that has been in power for so long, this level of hunger still persists. Why? Why? There are things you look at, you just begin to question your sanity. How does leaders say that they come out of this community? How? Please. Somebody should tell me how leaders come out of this vicinity. But if you come to Twitter spaces, if you come to the Twitter street, people have issues when they see this picture. That a man who is not from your region goes in where your politicians have failed, use his own personal money, not yours, his own money, the money he made as a businessman, goes in your region to go. I don't blame the violent space that call them the children of corn and children of whatever. Someone will look at it because you do not like the person who comes in and rescues your mom, your father, your small children, and you want to hate him. Hate him for doing what? You're happy with the type of water your parents thinks everybody takes, everybody drinks. You're happy with this. You're happy with this. But you're angry that someone left his comfort and spent his own money to help your people. People, I mean, what am I missing? What am I missing? Because when I look at this, when I look at this, I just say to myself, Haba now, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our brains? Why can't we see? Why can't we see these things? Why? You can now see that this man, though you know, not in fairness, not everybody is actually angry. There are people who are really there are people like some of the clips shared by my good brother Dr. Mo. There are many people who are also happy, who are you know a breath of fresh air, understanding what is being done within their region, being happy that a thing like this is happening. Let's actually share, because it's not only about knocking, but let's also share about these good testimonies, because these are people who have seen, who just came out and see what has been done within their community. Let's listen.
Excited to be here. We've been friends on Twitter and all of that. But today we're here with His Excellency and is doing. Talk to me about your feeling. What's your take?
Actually, I'm really very happy to see him come here in my state. One good thing I always like about Obi is his simplicity and his ability to, get closer to the people. And this is what excites me the most. And apart from the acts of kindness, he's coming here for donating a borehole and giving us words of encouragement. So this is great. This is why I'm really very happy.
Thank you.
You are a leader. 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 Anabigato Tosa. Bosa. Supremacy. Kiki. Kanamanda Wijiwana. Trinko Savabitabi. Bosa. Bosa. Bosa.
So good to see you. I'm excited to be here on. But today we're here with His Excellency and is doing.
When you look at that and you look at the happiness in the faces of the community members who would then look at these borehole that's been drilled, and the excitement thereafter, and in the midst of this excitement, some would still go out and say, no, 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 no. Don't like what they are saying. I say, come on now, waiting be your own. Huh? Waiting be your own. Because it doesn't stop there. He even went further. Like I said at the beginning, he went further. He was in Lagos, he was in Kebbi, he was in hold on. Where were the places? He was in Lagos, he was in Nasarawa, he was in Kebbi, right? And he had, when the reporters asked him a question, he had the following to say. Because at the end of the day, as they say, let's hear from the horse's mouth why he's doing what he did.
It's a time of sacrifice, it's a time of prayers, it's a time that we have to go around asking people to pray for our country. Difficult times like this, and going around and visiting affords you opportunity of experience real time people are going through and what is happening, and asking for more and more prayers, because we need, the country requires prayers. So for purpose.
I think events like this help to foster unity, especially in the current landscape in Nigeria.
It's because it shows that we're just same. We're just human. We love each other. You can see the Ramadan fasting coincides with even the Christian fasting.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you can see here is those that grabbed it, I will be, in my broadcast, I do have a little dose of violence. Those that have grabbed it, those that have snatched it, and those that have run with it have tucked themselves somewhere. You do not see them. They are now become oracle. They have become oracle. But those who they have grabbed from them are there with their own resources, not even federal government. My good friend Dr. Damage is always say, if a man is using his resources to do this much, just imagine if the table had turned the other way around. By now, probably everybody would have been smiling. But hey, what do I know? Let's finish listening to him.
These things shows love and unity, and going to make people understand that there's nothing different in all of us. We're the same. Like I always say, no religion buys bread cheaper.
Yes.
None buys fuel cheaper. It's everybody's. If there's a problem, it's a problem for everybody. Can you show me where Muslims buy bread cheaper? So I can go there and buy.
Me
You
too.
show me where they buy rice and food cheaper. No. So these are critical things that we all learn. We're all the same. It is critical that we love each other. We care for each other. So I've come here to support them in breaking the fast by probably, that's it.
So sorry, sir. To those people saying there's a political arm to this, what's the
There's an election. I didn't come. I would have come for when there was election. I came then when there's no election. Because I believe in this.
Okay,
You know, like I said before, it's not about election. Election doesn't make bread cheaper.
Your Excellency, okay. You have come now and you are still going around.
I'm still going around.
After your impression, if you gather to change your message, because your message is consistent.
It remains the same. But if we are productive, people won't be suffering. I'm not desperate. I say it every day to be president of Nigeria. I'm desperate to see Nigeria war. I'm desperate to see a society where a child of nobody, great, becomes somebody, be respected in the society, where we're all the same.
Thank you.
He beats me then silly, and he beats me total verrückt, total Dummheit. That somebody will now watch this and say, I'm happy that even the reporters asked that question. Are you doing this because of classical? Only the spirit can reveal that to you. Classical. And he says, no, I'm not. Is there any election? Because if you say he's doing it because of election, but there is no election, right? So he's doing it because that's him. That's what he's been doing, and that's what he's known for. But, in all this, a video then surfaced today. A warning shot. I didn't even know that Fayose, the former governor. Jen, I've seen you in the background. I'll bring you in. So I didn't know that Fayose, made such comment, and this was immediately when the collation of the result was ongoing. The former governor of Ekiti State had this to say. And I mean, when I listen to it, see what is happening now, I don't know what you think. You tell me what you think, or you make up.
Excuse me, sir.
It's
This Peter
renegotiated.
Obi, I've told you, this Peter Obi, anybody who becomes president of Nigeria.
When Fayose was saying this, there was no president. If you look at there, that was when we were looking at the presidential result of Kaduna. You can see that PDP won Kaduna, APC 399, Labour 294, and PDP 5 something then. And when Fayose said this, maybe it didn't click in then, but this video since today started trending again. Let me start the video afresh.
Excuse me, sir.
It's
This Peter
renegotiated.
Obi, I've told you, this Peter Obi, anybody who becomes president of Nigeria and does not give a right of place, I'm not saying an appointment for Peter Obi, Peter Obi will remove that person from office in another election. Mark my words.
So are you saying this same wave
This thing will not
can be
stop.
repeated?
This same wave, this Peter Obi, the people supporting him, the Peter Obi that I know, after this general election, they will continue.
Even though the next cycle of elections is in 4 years.
I'm telling you, those guys.
One thing, I think politicians see well when they leave office. Politicians understand problems better when they leave office. But when they are in office, they appear to be blind. Fayoshe is beginning to, or is seeing well now because he's no longer in office. That reminds Ikedio Hakim, when he was the governor of Imo State, there was indeed a lot that he could have done as the governor of Imo State that he didn't. The same thing applied to Okorocha. But the moment he left, when Ikedio Hakim was removed first time, he started telling Ndimo how he can. There is one area in Imo State. He says that they're from there they can dredge to the sea and build seaports. You ask yourself, okay, but you were governor now. You didn't know any dredging company. Why didn't you engage? But you waited until you were kicked out of office. He started doing what's happening. Just like Buhari now. Buhari probably will be sitting. I know he will be sitting with one part of his buttocks. He cannot sit with two buttocks, I tell you. Because these children, if they come into his, they will probably remove that toothpick that he uses, right? So when you look at this, you agree with me that when someone is in the office, he sees probably not well until that individual leaves office before that individual will begin to see very well. Now, finally, finally, the last video, I mean, the pictures are honestly excellent because when, I like it when a community appreciates something like this, when something like this happens. I mean, I recall in 2006, no, 2005, a jog one day, and I came to the community secondary school in my village. I mean, it was like somebody threw bomb there. But I mean, there is no time to complain. I wrote my governor then was Dr. Chris Ndige. Wrote the local government chairman. Everybody did nothing. Guys, what do you have to do? I went back home. I mobilized. I came back and we fixed it. The greatest part of the whole thing is the joy you will see from the children when they began using this facility. And as you can see in this case, private money, not government money. How much was used in doing this? Go to the budget padding. Look at how much Akpabio has padded for those for boreholes in Akwa Ibom. One of those budget padded for Akwa Ibom can do hundreds of these because we know how much this one cost. We know how much and the direct labor and the alacrity, that is the speed with which this was done. When a purposeful leadership is in place, there is no way the people will not be happy. Those that hate you and I, what they keep to ensure that purposeful leadership does not come so that people will keep suffering. At the end of the day, before we round up, and before I bring back Jen, who is, I will now quickly show us the last video here, which is if we look at testimonies of people, right? And there, pardon me, there are videos also, there are pictures also. People started photoshopping him where he has gone to make Nigerians. I mean, I love us. We catch cruise with everything. We are such a fantastic people. I love Nigerians. We don't have any dull moments. We are good. We are good people indeed. There. So, but let me quickly share with us the last video for this segment before I have my guest join me once more. Is the testimony of those who Dr. Mo have asked what they think about what is happening in their vicinity, right? And these guys, they loved it. They love what is happening. And this is this man has to.
My name is I'm the chairman, Chatika Committee, as one of the University Sokoto. today being
This was in Sokoto, 24th.
we are very much excited to receive one of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, University. He came here in the university specifically for us in Northville in order to commission a project on water. If we really assist and to go in assisting our students, and also it will ease the hard issue of finding water, because most of our plant who need water to survive like human beings. So I'm very much grateful. We really appreciate his coming to our university.
Anyway, bottom line is that this community was very appreciative of the fact that he came in, and this is the university environment, University of Agriculture and Forestry, I believe, in Sokoto. Again, I know when we were at Nsukka, when he gave the university, the nursing college in Nsukka, money to build their facilities. And many people on Twitter said, oh, he only goes to Christian this. That the same people that he has now gone to so many Islamic region and schools and entities and establishment are the same people now complaining, oh, why does he have to? Oga, now his money. If you verse, go make your money, use it the way you like it. Or if you want, as we say, you can go to court. On that note, I'll bring Jen back again. So thank you very much for joining me. You were about saying something, then your internet yanked you off.
Yeah,
Glad to have
sorry.
you back.
Sorry about that. I was using my phone actually, and then
Mm.
they called through. A call from another place came through back home. Yeah,
Yeah.
hello. It's a pity about the actor that we recently lost. May his soul
Mm.
rest in peace.
Mm.
And it's also quite unfortunate that these people have been there making life, manageable, bearable for us in Nigeria, those of us living everywhere. So they have exported a kind of themselves to us. And at the back of our minds, we just assumed that they must be making so much money. So they have been a lot of attributes have been given to them that may be larger than life until you get to, in fact, everybody's managing until something happens. It's only the
Mm.
health issue that exposes people to an extent to the emptiness of, not emptiness, but health issues have been so challenging. I don't know why it's happening to our actors especially, but
Is
yeah,
it could it be because they are the ones that are visible? I mean, it could be happening to many other people, but because the actors are the
exactly.
ones in our faces, so it appears it happens more because they are known. The society knows them, and maybe that's why we think it's
Yes, because they've given us a part of themselves, and human beings are wishful thinkers. You want things to last forever. But when you get to the reality, they are also reflections of what happens to the main bigger country, state itself. We haven't got medical facilities. And then you can imagine all those, like you said, they are the visible ones. They show their visibility through the screen. And they have been helping a lot of people go through stress unknowingly, that they have assumed a larger than life, character until something happens and you realize that he's one of us, is the same illness, Now you begin to look at the unknown. These are the known facts that somebody we know is gone. Then it now links us to how many of these invisible faces that die by day, by night, by. So it raises a question: what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
In the
Fair,
society.
fair
What
point.
should we do? What can we do? So we are affected as well because these people have got a role they're playing. Like I said, they help to alleviate the stress in the system. There are others who, although they may not contribute to the well-being of the entire state, they also have been, victims of the thing. They could be a parent, they could be a child, they could be missing children. Well, all these things add up, and one thing that affects one affects the whole. It's a pity. I'm lost for words, honestly, but
Okay.
may his soul rest in peace. Our prayers and thoughts are with the family.
Well, thank you very much. And like I agree with you entirely. Obviously, maybe because of them being visible out there, that's why we know. However, there is another angle and a twist to this. If you look at the screen now, we have Greg Ovier who says it is more. It is no more a joke what is happening to those Nollywood actors. These deaths are too many now, and no one is looking really deep into it. It is no more normal the rate at which they die over the years. So you know, apparently he's Ovia is I think he's actually joined. I don't know, he or she. Greg, if you can turn on your camera, then I'll bring you in. I think he's bringing a different angle to this conversation, which is a spiritual aspect of it. Ovia, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV. So you've joined us. So Jen, what do you think? Is there spiritual angle to this?
I don't think so. We have used the word visibility, we have used the word representation. They are just a kind of starting point for us to view what is going on in the entire nation. Because they have been living off our screens, we give them larger than life attributes.
Mm.
They are humans like us. They have covered a space that helps us go through a process. Also, we don't know how much they are paid. We just assume that they must be in money, having appeared in this and that film. You need to go through the rigors to see how they manage with a tight budget to create that thing. And we follow the storyline. You may notice one or two flaws, but that doesn't make sense because you look at how do you say the bigger picture, and you get the message. Most
But
of these people, yeah.
yeah, but if I take you this way, why is it that we do not have same within uh, the music, the music industry? The music industry, we don't really have people when they fall sick, they everybody comes in to chip in their own little money. Because I know when I saw that and when I got the account number, actually I asked one of the staff members to share that in the community section. I do not know if eventually people donated. So every one of us chipped in the little we can. Do you understand? So that is within the Nollywood, right? But in the music industry, that appears not to be so.
The music industry has existed since before the British handed over, gave us our independence.
But still no
We
structure. Still no structure apart from P-Man, which is almost
the,
non-existent.
like also have been going through a process, and they are beginning to be more regulated than the film industry. The film industry started waxing stronger around the 90s, you know
Mm.
The film industry hit our screens around the time of Zebrudaya and became regular. So because of that place they held in everybody's life, people were looking forward to going to sit in front of the TV around particular times. It used to be NTA by 4 o'clock, then the news, then borrowed international things like Scooby Doo and the rest of them. And
Mm.
we trans how do we went ahead to check the time of checkmates. And
Mm-hmm.
then after checkmates, it looked like there was an explosion of all these things. Even theater arts began to be offered in universities. People
Mm.
came out and started acting. Now you look at them, it is only very few of them made it. There are, countable names, but every day they're churning people. What we looked at was the storyline, so long as it fed into our state of mind or whatever, we
Narrative,
had
yeah.
something to talk about. But the characters themselves, it made them popular, it gave them a new lease of life. Some of them went back to their usual jobs. I know one who used to be a civil servant. I know one who used to work in Nike Lake Resort as something, something, something. But that exposure it gave them, I know this is where I earn my daily pay. It's just like here. We know what gives us our the regular salaries. We still have other things. It might not be much. So this had kept them going until they fell sick, and
Mm-hmm.
then it now exposed to ordinary Nigerians
Well,
the plight
I,
they're also going through.
yeah, I think the bottom line is the exposure kind of tells that there is, the field that they found themselves in probably doesn't give them enough room to have any backup, because if somebody falls ill within the first 2 3 weeks, is already up there in the social media for people to
This,
come to. It means there
yes.
is no backup at all.
Yeah, it calls for regulation. It's a call for regulation, really, because it's one time too many now, and they need to like look through to all these people like that are making it. Maybe the music industry borrow a leaf, have an insurance in place because things keep happening.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's about time they started putting that into effect.
Mm.
But then I don't know how they manage and how they cope. They sometimes I just don't know, so I wouldn't really like speculate. Yeah,
Anyway, thank you very much, Jen, for
thank
joining
you.
me this evening. Thank you. So, everyone, thank you very much. Once again, we say, may the soul of our brother who we've lost, and may the souls of those that we've lost within the week and month rest in peace. Now, as I said before, my stand still stands on the issue and the question bothering the kidnapped children in Kaduna that are being released in piecemeal. There is a lot of questions that the government must answer. If these questions are not answered, we do believe that this tragedy will not stop. It will be an unending cycle where children will be kidnapped, and not only being kidnapped, they always target girls, kidnap them, violate them, we pay them ransom, they release that. So the cycle doesn't end. One of the things one would advise the government, obviously they should know it and they already know that, is to ensure that as quick as possible that those who engage in this act are sent to their maker. That is the job of the government, to quicken their meeting their creator. That, I mean, there is no gainsaying, there is no conversation around that. On that note, I'll say thank you very much once more for being part of this. I am still Mazes. Okay, we are trying as much as possible to keep within the 1 hour time frame. Good night, and God bless us all.
La, 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 la.